Hi there.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. I am Chidi Akunna.
And I am Victor Akunna.
Hey, we're happy to have you here. If you're watching this, you might be on our YouTube channel, Foundation for Family Affairs. And like I like to say, at Foundation for Family Affairs, our mission is simple: to connect hearts and raise healthy families. Say, hey, what are you waiting for? Join us.
Join us.
So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please subscribe and hit the bell next to it so you're notified when we drop our content. And to every returning subscriber, would like to say thank you.
Thank you.
You make it worthwhile. Thanks for your feedback. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for your comments. Okay, we appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Today we've come your way with an interesting video. Hey. Do you want to know about it? Okay. We'll be talking about 5 ways people sabotage their marriage. Okay, and this is a 2-part video. So in this video, we'll be considering 5 ways. And then in the following video, we'll consider another 5 points you want to hear about.
Yes.
Okay, don't be told. Make sure you watch to the end.
Absolutely.
Okay, so 5 points. Let's give some context.
Well, basically, when we looked up the word sabotage, what came up was when someone intentionally decided to destroy or damage something of value so that the opponent will not be able to have access to it. But in the context of marriage, sometimes there are things that we do whereby we self-sabotage, all right, our own marriage without even realizing it. So you might have some habits, your partner may have been complaining for a while, but you just kind of dismiss it. You just feel like, oh, what is this? This is not a huge issue. Or you just have this, you're living in this cocoon that, you know what, well, I've married her anyway, she'll always be here anyway, she's not going to leave me. Or you just have this belief system that, oh, my husband is always understanding. All right, don't worry, you'll get angry, you'll raise, but I'm going to just sit by that anyway. Maybe you have a challenge with shopping without really looking at the credits of the family. And then you just find yourself constantly buying things that are not necessary, filling your garage, but your partner keeps complaining, this is driving us nuts. This is digging a hole in our financial record, but you can't be bothered. So we're going to be sharing some key things that people might be doing, you might be doing, or somebody you know might be doing, and maybe sabotaging the marriage without them realizing.
Yeah, so it's just a reality check, okay?
Yes.
Because some of these things may have been highlighted by your spouse,
Absolutely.
but you do not realize that you unconsciously it's impacting your marriage, impacting the intimacy between you.
Yeah, I just want to quickly add that some of what we'll be sharing might not resonate with you, because that's not the issue you're dealing with.
Yes.
So, for example, share some of the points that you may find, oh no, this doesn't happen in your marriage. Yeah, just look at the one that is happening in your relationship, in your marriage, that your spouse have been complaining about, and deal with that. That's
Okay.
all.
Yeah, and they can help others who may have that challenge in the
Absolutely.
future. Yeah, so the first point we have for you is divulging private information to a third party over a long time. Divulging private information to a third party over a long time. Someone might say, oh, but it's us, it's our information, but that's why we threw that word in private. So there's an expectation from your spouse that information should not be shared.
Yes.
Okay. And when we say over a long time, it's possible someone sitting there might think, oh, I've done it, it's not affected our marriage in any way. But when it carries on over a while, what you may not even have noticed is that your spouse has retreated. Okay, no longer shares as much as he or she would often do.
Yes.
Because such things impact the breach the trust in the relationship. And people get to that point where they just decide, okay, I'm not going to keep hurting myself because it hurts me when you do that. Okay, and if I've said it over and over again and you're not getting the message, I'll stop sharing. Okay, and at that point, intimacy between you is impacted.
Yes.
Because that spouse is no longer vulnerable, it's no longer open to you, it's not sharing certain depth, certain information that you should know as the spouse.
Absolutely.
Okay, so,
and that's why some spouses just feel like they hear something happen to their spouse. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Oh, if you are having a lot of, oh, you didn't say this. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know that. Check it. Your spouse may be cutting back information from you. That's one. Number two is that some of this kind of private information might be things that may make your spouse look bad to your own parents or to your own siblings. Alright, so that may be,
or to the person you're speaking
to the person, it makes the person look bad. So, for example, there are things I'm going to share with my people, my extended family, all right, that if it was about me, it's going to be it will make a huge difference, right? Because they know me, they love me anyway.
Yeah.
They love my spouse, but if it's about my spouse, it might affect how they see her. It's just human nature. Just human nature. So there are some information that you just need to manage. There's something we say that you are your own spouse chief public relation officer. Yeah. You are their own brand manager. All right. So you have to manage a brand of your. It doesn't mean you're going to hide information if your life is in danger. No. But there are petty things that you want to keep. For example, oh, my husband snores. Oh, my wife snores. Oh, my wife doesn't do this. Oh, my wife doesn't cook. Like all those kind of things that paints them bad, that make them make your extended family have a negative disposition towards your spouse, can make them begin to hold back and make them begin to shut down. Or something they share with you in confidence that, oh, I'm really afraid of X, Y, Z. Or you know what, I did this, maybe I applied for a job, I didn't get it. And then you just go and discuss it, and people are looking at you like, oh, this guy is a never do well kind of, he just came to the family to siphon money. You don't want that kind of, because you are going to be affected as well. So that's one of the reasons why people kind of.
Yeah, I love it when you keep emphasizing that I am my spouse's chief public relations officer.
Very
because
important,
it's just an expectation.
Yes.
And when we even go outside marriage, for some relationships in your life, there's that psychological contract.
Absolutely.
The other person just expects that what I share with you should be kept between us.
Spot on.
Okay, so if you, it's about presenting the other person in good light.
Yes.
Okay, do unto others as you would want them to do it to you. So
absolutely.
Would you be comfortable if someone did that to you? Okay, how about your spouse? So it's something to take on board. Second point, not creating time to detox or empty negative emotions. Not creating time to detox or empty negative emotions. This can have great impact. You know, oftentimes we'll say, oh, we need to find time to rest. We need to find time to retreat. Okay, we need to distress. Very, very important. Because it not only affects you, but it affects your loved ones, the people around you. Because you get to that point where, yes, you start snapping. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like things you would normally be tolerant about. Okay, you just see yourself getting easily triggered.
Yes.
Not because you're a bad person, but because you've not had time to empty negative emotions. You know, and I was reading this article the other day, and it was talking about how we are impacted by the things we experience on a daily basis, and we're not even aware of the impact of
your emotions,
certain occurrences on your exactly. Okay, so it's just important that we realize there are information people give to you. They call you, oh, do you know this person passed? You don't realize that it's done something to you emotionally. Okay, so we must find that time to rest, to sleep well. Sleep is good. Okay, they would encourage that you sleep as an adult 6 to 8 hours every day. You find time to do that. Okay, don't just discount it and say, oh, no. Love yourself enough to know that I should be distressing, I should detox, I should not have all of those things in there. Okay, but then also for the good of your loved ones, those around you, because they are the first hit. You want to say something?
Yeah, take time to see a coach, see a therapist that will help you detox. All right. Carry out exercise. We take walks every day. We take walks. We wear these smartwatches that help us monitor our health. So, because one of the ways you can remove stress from your system is by exercising. It's been proven. Another thing is, apart from detoxing, is also detoxing negative emotions. So sometimes there's no how you're going to spend time with someone in the same space that both of you will not have disagreements, pending disagreement that are just lying there. So take time to find some time to have a chat with each other and say, no, I'm not happy with you about that. So time my wife did something, and so, I'm learning not to talk about it at the moment, right? Because when you talk about it at the moment, sometimes your feelings are still involved. So you are not even giving the other person the opportunity to communicate their own point of view. Because sometimes because of where you're standing, the way you're perceiving that situation is not actually the whole picture. So when you give your spouse an opportunity to talk, you'll be amazed that sometimes you'll be the one apologizing because you now notice that you judge too harshly because you do not have a holistic perspective. So sometimes give some time and look at that issue again and then bring it up. I didn't like what you did about it. And then the person have an opportunity to say something. And you'll be shocked that, man, it wasn't what you thought to begin with. All right, so take time to detox and take time to distress and take time to have a chat with each other to remove some of those emotional impurity that is just somewhere at the back of your mind. You're not happy about something. You might not remember the issue, but have a chat, have a heart-to-heart chat. It will help you guys to empty what Jimmy Evans would call your hot pockets. Hurt pocket. All the hurt you've been storing somewhere against your spouse. Find time to eliminate them. Sometimes you spend time in God's presence. That does it for me. When I pray about my spouse or pray about an issue, it empties all those venomous stuff from my system, and it helps me to be a healthy emotional person.
Brilliant. And in saying this, sometimes we see this because you talked about in another way resolving conflict between yourselves. Okay, we see this where one party doesn't like confrontation, doesn't like having those hot conversations. Okay, and then under the guise that, oh, I'm tired, I'm too stressed, I don't have time for that. Okay, you could make those excuses to avoid resolving that issue. Okay, so it's just important that we do that and ensure that every conflict is resolved. Okay, so next point, not assisting with home chores or parenting. Not assisting with home chores or parenting. We see this sometimes when one person feels overwhelmed.
Yes.
Okay, it's not like things will not be done at home by either of you.
Yes.
But when one person feels, you're not pulling your weight regarding parenting, I do more of the work. Maybe one person does the school run, the homework, just looking out for the children, and does not feel supported by the other spouse. It's something to be wary of.
It's understandable if there's an agreement that because I'm trying to study for an exam, you do a lot of the work. That happened sometime in our own relationship where I was doing a lot of the work. There was a time she was doing a lot of the work, where because I was also preparing for an exam. All right, so sometimes because of personal development, or because of illness, or because of not being available, or because of some deadlines, one person is speaking more of the responsibilities. That's understandable. But when somebody just crossed their leg and just on the phone, or just having a nice time, just watching one sport, or just doing something over a period of time, all right, you just, after a while, you will know that you as a partner who is not contributing, you've lapsed into that sense of inertia where you just expect the other person to just get up and do something. Just expect. So don't let it get to that point where your spouse begins to become resentful, or they're not happy about something. They just see that you are intentionally not helping out. That's not really good, right? Because that can sabotage your relationship. Because if your spouse is stressed, it definitely has an impact on sex. It will impact on their communication. They will likely to snap, and then there will be a disagreement that will lead into another disagreement, and you will react, and that causes a chain reaction. So before your spouse complains, step in there and find a way to help to make the burden easier. All right, because you live there as well.
So you're not assisting your spouse.
You're not assisting your spouse.
You're doing what you should do.
It's your house as well. Yeah.
Yes, I like that. Okay, next point: promiscuity. Big one. Okay. What's promiscuity?
Yep.
Another term. Some people will say womanizing.
Yeah, that's
okay,
a good word.
but that's for another. That's gender based.
Yes.
When we say womanizing,
it can be
manizing. Yeah. So I mean, there's a whole lot in this point.
Yeah.
Okay, because I think there was an article. There was a question we put out on our website one time. Our blog, www.foundationforfamilyaffairs.org, and we talked about the impact of staring. And we were trying to get the opinions of people on how they feel about their husbands staring. And it was very interesting to see the opinions of people about that. And a lot of people shared opinions like, oh, it's really embarrassing for me to sit there and watch my husband stare. And I remember a particular man even called us on phone and was like, what's wrong with staring? He might just be looking. Yeah, women are attractive. When I'm staring, it doesn't mean that I'm lusting after her. Okay, but yes, there's that look, there's that point where it becomes lustful.
Yes.
Okay, and it's really like, okay, this is extreme. You know, so promiscuity could sabotage your relationship.
Yes.
Don't just do it and think that she should put up with it. And sometimes, like we've seen this when we coach people, we have people who, because it's what they have seen growing up. Okay, one parent probably was involved and was very deep into promiscuity, and they just think, if it's the case of if dad and mom put up with it, so my wife should put up with it. Well, why is she complaining? Oh no. It's a bad behavior. It sabotages your marriage. Mom put up with it. Yes, she chose to. Your wife is another individual. Okay, and if she's not having it, then that should be appreciated. I mean, nobody would like it. Let's flip it. How would you feel if your wife does that? So we should be doing unto others.
Yes.
As we would want them to do to us.
Yeah, and this includes emotional affairs. You know, where you find yourself that you are emotionally drawn to someone and you are beginning to look forward to spending time with that person. You are dressing to impress that person. You are doing that. You are beginning to enter some uncharted waters. All right, so that's also another one. Another one is also when you begin to cheat with your job. When you're taking too long away on your job, you just avoid it. So your spouse practically does not see you during the day, does not see you at night. You are always working. You're always away. All right, so that's not good as well. So there are different forms of promiscuity, not just with an opposite sex. Sometimes you're spending excessive time with your friends that just doesn't see you. You guys don't have time to bond. You guys don't have time to connect. You guys don't have time to have deep and meaningful conversations. So your conversations are just on this peripheral phase. No, that's not healthy for your marriage. It's not healthy. That's you sabotaging intimacy, and when intimacy is sabotaged, and one thing about promiscuity is that it hits at the core of your relationship, which is trust. The moment your spouse cannot trust you again, you've crossed a major line. So before you get there, find a way to work on that. Because that's one thing that really cuts really, really deep. All right, so let's stay outside those borders.
And when trust is breached, okay, the suspicion grows in the relationship.
Yes.
Okay, and then you start hating that you're being suspected. But you can now understand that okay, you've breached the trust. It's impacted. I don't trust you the way I used to. So I will get very suspicious.
Yes.
Okay, so you need to work to allay her fears or his fears, because I mean it's both sides, isn't it? Okay, so work on seeing that, okay, you earn back your spouse's trust. All right, so the other point we have for you, I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, I'm loving it. Let's keep going.
Okay, so the last point in this video we'll be sharing with you today is addiction. That's a big one that can sabotage your marriage. Okay, and when we talk about addiction, examples would include gambling, pornography. Okay, I had this client who was in a relation, was married to someone. They're still married, but going through some therapy. Now, he had gambling issues. It was sometimes when we talk about addiction, we don't realize the extent of it. It's really extreme, and that's why we mustn't open certain doors. You don't start things. Don't even start it, because you don't know where it might lead you. Okay, and I think he started little by little. He got to this point where he would come to the house and take the television in the house. Anything, whatever he found, okay, because it was just there. There was just that urge to do more, okay, to gamble more, okay, and it gets to that point where the person who is living with you no longer feels safe, okay, because you are putting us at risk. You're putting yourself, but yes, your loved ones will be directly impacted. Okay, and then we talk about pornography. We've seen the height of this. I'll let you say something.
Yeah, so for pornography, sometimes one of the issues around pornography is that it gets people to that point where they are sexually satisfied, and so they don't really need their spouse anymore. And what that does is that you begin to push your spouse away, right? Which is the person that actually has the legitimate right to experience that with you. So once you get to that point where because you are doing carry out solo sex, you got to that point where you are no longer in touch with your spouse. You don't really need it. So when your spouse is asking you for sex, you feel irritated, you feel nauseated, you feel you're just trying to push them away. That can impact your marriage. I think we did a video about the impact of pornography. You can look that up on on one of our videos where we talk about the impact of pornography on marriage.
I think the title is Pornography Good for Us?
Good for us.
We'll put it up.
Yes. So view that, watch that video. You see all the points I will discuss there. But one of the key things we are discussing here is what are the habits that can sabotage your relationship. Pornography is another one of it, where you can begin to indulge in something that pushes your spouse away, and that creates a gap between you. Instead of you coming together, to create a gap between the two of you. You don't want that for your relationship.
It gets that addictive that the normal becomes too low for you now.
Yeah.
So you start looking for a new high, another one. You're never satisfied.
Yes. Don't start that journey because you can't finish it.
Okay, so I will invite you, like we would always do, if you think that you're struggling with one of the points raised and you've tried as a couple to sort this out, okay, you might want to enroll on our Intimacy Builder coaching program. Okay, it's an 8-week program, and I tell you, we're seeing transformation. We are seeing transformation happen in the lives of people, and we are excited about it. Okay, don't stay there, and then it breaks our heart when we see people try to patch it, and then the relationship breaks down. Okay, don't just carry on. We are here. We can support you.
Absolutely.
Okay, and help you. You'll be amazed at how your relationship would be revived.
Absolutely. The key thing about this Intimacy Builder program is that it helps you to build the core of your marriage. All right, it helps you to strengthen your vision. It helps you to work on your finance. It helps you to work on any specific area that you're working on. Now, we also have a different perspective to it, which will help you, whatever issue that you guys keep, a recurring issue that has refused to go away, that seems to be driving a wedge between you and your spouse. It means that your intimacy is getting pulled apart. So you want to get that fixed. Once your intimacy is in place, your sex life will improve, your finances will improve, because then you can work in agreement better than before.
Yes, so the link is in the description box. Hit the link and then fill the information. We'll meet you on the other side.
Absolutely.
All right, so if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please subscribe. Turn on your notification bell so you're notified when our content drops. And then if you've loved this, give it a thumbs up. Let's hear from you. You might have other points we haven't touched on.
Absolutely.
Okay, leave them, drop them in the
comment section. Let's carry on the conversation.
Yes.
And then share as well.
Yes.
Sorry.
Go on.
Yeah, I was going to say, please share as well. Yeah, because we sometimes we forget to remind people to share. You sharing helps us to push that information out there. Because what's the point of someone who has information, who has the resources that they can use to solve their marital problem, not having access because they don't know us? But because you know us, help us to spread that information.
Yes, and thank you to everyone who keeps sharing this. We feel you. Thank you. Okay, so until we come your way again, we'll see you on the other side. Part 2.
Bye.
Bye.